young man. And Jimmy Franklin, his expert pilot. Jimmy Franklin and Lee Oman, I hope you get a chance to meet him. Look toward the runway. And Shipley in the lead.
Chicago, Vlado, Lenoch, Moonbeam, Mcswine. Built Rolls-Royce Merlin engines. The four horsemen are going to be going out, getting formed up, making sure everything's secure. And they'll be back in just a little while to thrill, delight, and entertain you. Something that hasn't been seen since about 1947. In formation. Look high overhead. Vlado, Lenoch, the solo, breaks off as the three other ships go into a formation loop. Now, the B-51 is an airplane that has some nasty stalling characteristics no matter what the speed. And at the speed they're at, going over the top of that loop, I got to tell you, they're hanging right on the edge of it as they come down the other side, still holding that separation. In the lead is Ed Shipley. Flying right wing, Jim Beasley Jr. And on the left wing, Dan Calderal. A solo, Vlado Lenoch, is off to your right.
Dig a battery out of that back.
Headed your way. He's going to show you a solo barrel roll. Vlado's going to come downhill. Get that big Merlin cranking. He's going to be doing 350 miles an hour as he flashes by you from your right to your left. In Moonbeam Mcswine, one of the oldest aerobatic maneuvers, the barrel roll. Power and howl of that Rolls-Royce engine. They have a demonstration that could just set your hair on fire. Ed Shipley, the lead pilot, a licensed commercial pilot with 1,600 hours, flies T6 and P-51, also owns an FG-1D Corsair. Been flying 21 years. Jim Beasley Jr., a licensed commercial pilot, that is, with 1,800 hours. He's been flying for 12 years. Here they come from your left to your right in formation, a high-speed pass, pushing it right up close to 400 miles an hour. And then look off to your left, and if Vlado Lenoch has got himself in position, he should be rolling through here in the solo aircraft, and there he comes from a dive, way up high, gives him a lot of speed coming downhill. Prototype of the P-51, of course, was built, designed, and flown in just 17 weeks back in 1940. Gives it a nice roll out the top. Holds it. Early models of the P-51, of course, had the Allison engine in them. They were rather disappointing in performance, especially in terms of high altitude. But adding the Merlin double supercharged engine changed all of that. It is said, by the way, that the P-51, of course, was the first fighter that actually had the range to accompany our bombers all the way into Germany, and to stay with them and bring them home safely. And as a matter of fact, Hermann Goering, who was, of course, the head of the Luftwaffe, when he saw the P-51s over Berlin, he said he knew the war was over. Mustangs, in fact, were recalled to duty during the Korean War. Look now to your right, as the four horsemen -1 come through with a formation loop right here in front of you. Watch the separation. Watch it hold. Here we go. Back comes the stick. The two women just looking at Ed Shipley's plane right on the boss. Up they go, over the top. Look at that separation, just hanging there like they were wired together. Over the top they come. The G-forces start to kick in. Gravity says, come on down. And they do. And as they clear the area, if Vlado's got himself in position, he should be out to the left. He's going to show you a half loop and a roll in the solo P-51 Mustang. Many people called the P-51 the Cadillac of the skies during World War II. Considered the best fighter plane of that war by many historians. There were about 15,000 of them built. Originally sold to the government for $54,000. If you want to buy one today, it's going to cost you anywhere from $600,000 on up. Not only that, as you watch them fly, consider that you'll have to pay between $600,000 and $1 million for one of these things. It'll cost you $1,000 an hour to fly it. It burns a gallon of gas a minute. And the half loop and roll completed by Vlado Lenoch. Our 3 aircraft again forming up for their next formation task. And again, remember, these guys have real jobs. Believe it or not, Vlado Lenoch, for instance, a solo who's just in here, airline transport pilot, 6,000 hours flying over 25 years. He's also a very big fellow. They have to kind of grease him up before they put him in the cockpit. I was just kidding about that part. Maybe. Okay, I want you to get ready for another photo opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to do a half loop and a bomb burst, and they're right over your heads right now, once again. Once again, Ed pulling back on that stick, looking back over his shoulder going, where is the world? Oh yeah, down there it is. Come on, guys, let's go on down. Here they come. Now watch. Keep the camera on them as they split out in 3 different directions. That whistling noise you hear is the air going through the radiator underneath the air. The lead aircraft of the 71st Fighter Group. And by the way, that airplane has been an Oshkosh Grand Champion. Normally, Jimmy Beasley is flying one called Tennessee, marked as the 357th Fighter Group. Today he's flying his dad's airplane, Bald Eagle. And I gotta tell you, I'm not sure exactly which fighter group that one is marked for. Baby Duck, flown by Dan Calderal, and owned by Dr. Joe Scania, by the way, is marked as the 353rd Fighter Group. And Moonbeam Mcswine, the 352nd Fighter Group. So there you are. They're all very authentic markings. Now they're off to your right. They're setting up to make their diamond pass. This is going to be another really nice photo op for you. Again, it's not very often that you see 4 P-51s in formation in World War II markings. Again, let me urge you, when you take your picture of these, you want to pick them up off as far as you can off to one side, get them right in the center of the viewfinder. And then as they pass through, keep the camera moving with them, and keep the camera moving when you push the shutter. Okay, here they come, off to your right. Look at this formation. What a sight, what a sound, the 4 Horsemen. Formation. They're going to break that out. They're going to put it into some other formation. One called the Echelon, and you'll see just what it looks like. They're kind of strung out in a row, but kind of staggered. It doesn't mean the pilot's staggering. It means they're one staggered. Never mind. Calderal from Vincenttown, New Jersey. Danny is a painter, which is not really doing him justice. He does magnificent painting. Does a lot of the aircraft that you've seen here today. And Vlado Lenoch, as we said, is a pilot by trade. Airline transport pilot, as a matter of fact. Okay, they got the Echelon all together. They're going to come left to right this time. Once again, another photo op for you here. Burn off some of that Kodak film because it makes folks in my hometown real happy as you take pictures of the 4 Horsemen. fly and the fact that you really got to train a lot to be proficient in this airplane, let alone flying with 3 other guys hanging right around you. Now you notice we got a whole gang altitude built up out here, and we're going to come zipping down through here and show you the brake for landing. This is standard drill during World War II when you got back to the airfield. Come down low over the field, have a look, make sure nobody's down there in trouble that you're going to run into when you go to land. Come screaming down over there. Up comes the nose. Headed under this rear roll. They call them twinkle toes now. You're never ever going to lose that name, I don't think. Say, hey, if you do it, I do that. Well, looks like everybody's going to try a victory roll. At least we got 2 that tried it. Sure enough. If you ever, in your life, are offered the opportunity to ride in one of these airplanes, and many of them have a seat back behind the pilot's seat, no controls, but a place to sit there and hang on for dear life. Used to be a fuel tank there of about 80 gallons, but most of them have taken that out. If anybody ever offers you that P-51 ride in that seat and you can't go, my number is 865-6158. Call me.
Bill. All right.
I have had the opportunity to do it once in my life, and I really thought I wasn't going to be able to get out of the airplane. I don't want to get out of the airplane. It's a magnificent ride. It is hot, it is noisy, and it is the best thing on earth.
Amen.
Got the gear down. Got the prop up. He's doing about 100, 110 right in there, believe it or not. He'll be coming right down over the runway, get into the flare, and let it bleed off to down a little under 90 miles an hour, right around in there. Get those mains on the ground nice and soft. And he'll taxi from here to heaven only knows. Wouldn't you like to have the clear coat concession for this outfit? I mean, those are the shiniest airplanes on the face of the earth. This is another one now, when you get in that on-the-ground configuration, that tail dragger like that, you can't see where you're going out front. You really can see nothing at all toward the front of the airplane, so you kind of got to look around the sides as you go down the runway. It's easy because you have the edges of the runway, but you get off the runway onto the taxiway or something, and you got to kind of swing it back one side to the other to look sideways to make sure you're not going to run over anybody. Understand, Lou, a bunch of people are going to get lucky here again. Is that what you tell me?
It certainly is. The typical Sussex Airshow awards here. We're going to start calling out some of the prizes. So if you have your tickets or you have your program ready, open up to that note page. Let me call out some of the numbers. For the High Point Aviation, first prize, we've got Warren, New Jersey. That is 3281493. Third prize for the High Point Aviation is Dwayne, and I'm just going to spell this last name, Botteicher from Sussex, New Jersey, ticket number 3280437. That's the 3 prizes from High Point Aviation. From Cherry's Tiger Dog, these are 2 free helicopter rides. The rides will take place right after the air show. Your ticket number is 4244483. I'll repeat those numbers. 4244483. The second number, 4244393. Those are for the free helicopter rides from Cherry's Tiger Dog right after the show. For the Sony Pass for 2. This is for a free pass to any of the Sony